Happy New Year. Or is it a new year? Well, that's according to Gregory, and honestly, we just trust him. We just trust that this is January 2026. In the 1500s, a lot of countries moved from using the Julian calendar to using the Gregorian. But other countries, if you didn't know, don't use this calendar. According to the Chinese, it's definitely not 2026 January. And Ethiopia, a few other countries, there's also the Islamic calendar. So there are different years. The Jewish people right now say that we are in the year 5000 and something, 5085, and it doesn't fall their new year around the same time that our new year falls. However, we know that the sun rises and the sun sets. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, that is a definite. So looking at that, we can see how time may be a construct, but the sun is reality. Welcome to the first episode of this year, according to Gregory. This is officially Nyashaà. So we're going to talk about planning and planning our day, because like we've just discussed in the past couple of minutes, that the year or where we are, that is subjective. You could possibly be anywhere. But what we know for sure is that the sun will rise and the sun will set. And so it makes it so much easier and lightens the burden of New Year's resolutions. I know a lot of us are under pressure to be better, to do better this year. So a lot of us are signing up for the gym. My gym akazara is so, 5 a.m. club, everything. People are like, new year, new me. And then you get to November. Actually, November is far. We get to June, we're tired. We let some of those things go and we're frustrated. And next year comes, we start again and the cycle continues. So I'm coming to you with a suggestion for us to maybe look at it in a different way. Let's look at it one day at a time and let's plan for the day. So this is not to say don't have goals for the year. Don't say I'm going to go here this year. I'm going to do this year. That's good to do. But when it comes to more detailed planning, if you break it down into smaller bits, it is easier to achieve. So looking at planning the day, we're going to start off with the morning. And in the morning, what I like to do is when I wake up, I get up. There's a difference. Waking up, you can wake up and then you stay in bed and not actually get up. Now, what happens is when you hit that snooze button and you get a 10 more minute sleep, our bodies think that we have gone back to sleep. And we have different sleep cycles. Now, what happens is when you're trying to get up after 10 minutes of that, your body is thinking, takurara futi. So it's getting into a 90-minute cycle, whatever the case is. And it's going to take much more effort to wake up from that as compared to if you had just gotten up when your body had woken up. Our bodies know exactly what we need. And so when your eyes flutter open at that particular time, it means that it's ready for the day. You're ready for the day. And so what you could do if you want to sleep in is get up, move around, make yourself a cup of tea, like I did, and make sure that the tea is non-caffeinated because our bodies can generate their own cortisol. They do. That's how we're designed. And coffee can hack that. So what happens is we create a dependency on the coffee to boost us. That's why you be like, oh, I feel so much better. I've had my cup of coffee. Now, it's not to say don't have coffee, but I highly recommend having it after 11. This is based on studies because by then your body has generated enough cortisol and you're off about your day. But also make sure you have it before 3. So from 11 to 3 is a good window to have caffeine products. Because then if you have it after 3 also, it's getting closer to bedtime. I know it's like 3 p.m., but give it a shot, see how it goes. And maybe if you need a cuppa at maybe 5, 6 p.m., try decaf. But a cup of tea in the morning slaps. Something else that I do in the morning is I take care of the vessel that carries us. Our bodies do so much for us, and yet we tend not to listen to them as much. It's quite an abusive relationships a lot of us have with our bodies. A lot of the time when you're craving something or we do something, it's based on what our mind, our soul, our spirit wants, and our body's just up and do it. Right now, I'm using my body. And so to honor that, in the morning, I just dedicate 30 minutes to taking care of it, whether it's working out and something simple. Because we want to start out big. We're like, I'm going to go to the gym. But just start out by doing a 10-minute stretch at home. Do it consistently for 21 days and possibly move to going to the gym once a week, and be realistic with yourself. I know we get so excited at the start of the year and we feel like we can do it. And we're like, if I pay, then I'll definitely do it. But how many of us have actually lost money by just paying? I know that the sense of community does go a long way, but maybe sign up for a class on a Friday where you definitely know you're not going to miss it. But the rest of the week, do try and do something every day that's especially dedicated towards your body. There's a lot that you can do at home that's also affordable. Jump rope, dance, put on some music, dance, shake your body. It does so much for you as you start the day. Now, something else I do to plan and just to help download. I don't know about you, but when I'm sitting in bed and I just wake up, I have a million tabs open already. And so what we're going to do is we're going to download that. You can type, but there's research that shows that there is more power in coordinating your memory if you write things down by hand. So you can take a pen and a paper and you can write. But even if you've got an iPad or something, it's the digital era, but just try and write as compared to typing. There is more benefit in that. So you're going to plan out what you're doing for that day. Again, remember, we're focusing on the day. So I've got a meeting at this time. I'm going to have lunch. Just put that down. It's not necessarily a to-do list as it is just to download and kind of close those tabs so that you're not worrying that have I captured everything that I need to do. Now, coming into the part of the workday, we want to rethink work and productivity. A lot of us have this sense of attendance. And if you work in a place that you particularly don't like, register, just making sure that we're there. And sometimes we're not being as productive as we're meant to be. There is a time before COVID, before everybody was working from home, and we used to work from home at that time. And we decided to separate the two because it began to feel like we're living at work. I was so frustrated just having work all around us, not taking any breaks, not knowing what time work starts and when it ends, particularly if you are business. And a lot of us in Zimbabwe business. So you are struggling to just see how to make that work. In comes the concept of time blocking. And I love this concept because I think it resonates with a lot of us Africans, because African time is considered chill, blasé. People always say there's no hurry in Africa. And there's something about it that kind of calms our energy. There's a less strictness to things, but we get things done. Like we're making it work. So this is not to encourage people to be tardy in any way, but to look at productivity in the sense of time blocking versus scheduling. So I'm going to give examples for myself. I start architectural work at 8:30 till 12:30. That's my first time block. That's my second time block. My first time block is taking care of me, which starts up when I wake up at about 5:30. For the next 3 hours, I do a lot of things. I bath, I have tea, I exercise, just have a time of meditation, prayer, whatever the case is. That's that first time block. Then between 8:30 and 12, and it doesn't have to start at 8:30, I'm starting. But around that time, my calendar pops up to say, this is now architecture time. And I do that and I focus. And I use timers. You can use a system called the Pomodoro, which has 25 minutes of blocks. There are many apps that you can download for this. So when you do that, you are able to focus. But when the 25-minute timer rings, you get to stand up just to stretch and to exercise. Did you know that studies are saying that sitting, when we sit at a desk, is the equivalent of smoking? That is the most dangerous thing that we're doing now as a society, just sitting endlessly at a desk. So I like to have timers up and just looking at the tasks that I wrote in the morning that I'm going to work at that day without pressure, just making sure that I'm productive within that space. I know it can be difficult if you work in 8 to 5, but you can be the master of your own time if you're able to time block within the times that you are at work. So come lunchtime, one of the things that we like to do is when we prepare dinner, we don't prepare dinner just for the two of us for that evening. We prepare as if we're preparing for 4. That means everybody, the two of us, has an extra meal. This is a simple hack to make sure that you're not worrying about lunch the following day. So you just make dinner twice. And then the following day, you can pack it if you're packing it for lunch. I know people are sometimes shy to have their dinner for lunch. And I work in a space where I'll come with a lunchbox here, sadza. And people be like, "Why?" I'm like, yeah. I've seen videos of young Nigerian kids in the States starting to go to school with their jollof rice and gaining confidence in that, someone's culture has the sandwich. But if I can pack my pap, I'm going to pack my pap because I then don't have to worry about the expense or thinking, what am I going to eat? It's a simple thing that frees up your mind. So I highly encourage for you to do that. And even looking at how you plan for that, it would be good to just make mental notes and put it down on what you're going to eat. It helps you when you're shopping. It helps when you go out there to be able to break that down in a way that is clear and understandable to you. Now the day has gone by and it's now evening. We finished the work time blocks. We've had a lunch, take care of yourself block. I take a walk, I do different things. And then I start up at 2 to 4:30 and the day is done. From 4:30 to about 6, I also just like to do certain hobbies. And hobbies are nice if they're fun. A lot of us have turned a lot of our hobbies into achievements and things that we have to tick off of a box. And that would give me so much stress. I remember when I was learning piano so that I could be good, or when I was learning swimming so that I could be good. And it took the fun out of it. And the moment I just changed my mindset to just do what I can and be present in the moment, it's been absolutely fun. And I found that the more you practice anything, the better you're going to become at it. A friend of mine shares something that he learned from someone that says practice makes permanent. It does not make perfect. And so if you're going to practice swimming every other day, whatever the case is, you're gonna get good at it. Rest assured if you're doing things in the right way and just putting in a little bit of time. So don't put too much pressure on yourself. Now we've had dinner and we're going to wind down the day, and we've already planned our dinner. So hopefully you've put in your meal prep and everything and you didn't have too much stress as to what are we going to eat today. This is a big shout out to some stay-at-home moms or wives who always having to decide what to eat. It's also nice to just have a chat, with your partner, with your family, like what are we going to eat this week, and plan that out together. It relieves some of the stress off of you. So coming into the evening, if I were to ask you today and you were having a big event, let's say a birthday party or a wedding, and you're having it tomorrow, would you show up to that wedding without having prepared or rehearsed for it? I don't think so. You're going to show up with a plan. You're going to show up because this is something that is quite important to you. So you are planning for that, and you've got certain things that you do, rehearsals to get to that day. Same thing with sleep. What happens is at the end of the day, we're so tired, we get home and we slump onto the bed thinking that this is what our bodies need. Our bodies need rest, and it's different from sleep. Sleep is a part of rest, but there's a lot of things that go into that. And if we're able to plan for that, it goes a long way. So some of the bedtime rituals that I have is I make a cup of tea. Again, chamomile is great for sleep and just helps, calm your nerves. I try avoid having any digital media at least 2 hours before bedtime. I sleep around the same time, but I don't sleep at the exact same time. Again, going back to time blocking versus scheduling. I can lay on the bed and put my feet up. It helps reset our nervous systems, just giving a sense of being one with our body, soul, and mind. You could read a book. There's so much that you could just do. A small, simple hobby, like maybe playing a puzzle. If you're now feeling pressure, siana naso. wakutodhipisa. It needs to be something relaxing and calming that just helps you wind down the day and not just kungojuma kurara. So I sometimes take more time preparing for bed and actually maybe miss my bedtime by 20-30 minutes, and you'd rather do that because you're going to get a better quality sleep. And then the following day we start again. So I hope these points are helpful in helping you plan for your day, for the days within the year, and release that pressure of the New Year's resolutions. Like I said at the end of last year, life is deep, but it's not that deep. Have fun, Basali. Let's enjoy each day. There's this movie, Legally Blonde, and Reese Witherspoon, the main character in that, had a line that she says in that. And I say that line to myself every morning. It's actually on my alarm. And the line says, "Good morning, sunshine. Remember, these are the best days of your life." Each day can be the best day of your life. Just take it in stride and take it each moment as it comes. The world is hectic. And there's always going to be something to do, something to fix. But taking it each moment at the time and just doing the small things will make such a huge impact. Don't try to do all the things all at the same time. That is January, you're joining the 5 a.m. club, you're joining the karate club, all of the things. This is no shade if you've already done that. But look at it and really see what it is that you're doing. And if you're joining the 5 a.m. club when you wake up at 7, it's not going to help much. So do you, and each thing that you do will contribute to your wellness, and you will see such a positive impact happening throughout the course of the year. Thank you so much for joining Officially Nyashaà. Let's continue to keep things official. And thank you for sharing, subscribing, liking. Please comment if you have any additional things that you do, any hacks that you do, or any questions that you'd like for us to talk a little bit more on. Feel free to do so. I already said things, huh? Okay, let's keep things official. Back to my tea. Nailed it. Today's first try. Oh, not really. Second try. First Lego movie. Batman does, like, I think I shared something. Then he goes like so many times. Then he finally goes like, first try.